There are days when the fire within us flickers low, when the world feels heavy on our shoulders. Every excuse disguises itself as logic. These are not the moments to wait for motivation. These are the exact moments when true discipline begins, not when everything feels aligned, not when you're riding a wave of inspiration. Discipline starts the moment your mind screams, "No," and you calmly answer, "I don't need to feel like it. I just need to start." Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Why? Because when you pursue discipline relentlessly, it will look irrational, even insane, to those who worship comfort. They don't understand the code we live by. We act not based on how we feel, but based on what is right. Because the one who is ruled by his emotions becomes a prisoner of them. In those quiet moments when the bed feels like heaven, when your goals feel out of reach, when the mere thought of action feels exhausting, that's when your inner blade is being sharpened. That's the moment your character is being forged. Not with fire and noise, but with silence and resolve, Seneca warned. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. We push off what must be done. We chase pleasures like we have forever. But discipline. Discipline is the art of honoring time. It is the rebellion against slow decay. It is the refusal to die while still alive, so when the comfort calls and your will falters, remember, discipline doesn't wait for permission. It begins with your decision. Let's face it, we will never consistently feel like doing the hard things. Motivation is unreliable. It fades. It drifts. That's why the ones who rise without it, who push forward without praise, who grind in silence, those are the ones. The world can't help but notice, because they've learned a powerful truth. The will is not trained when everything flows. It is forged when everything resists. So when that moment hits, when you're exhausted, overwhelmed, anxious, or emotionally drained, don't wait for motivation to show up and rescue you. It won't. Instead, you rise and become the spark. You act like the disciplined version of yourself would act. With time, the body falls in line, the mind adjusts, and the world responds. It bends ever so slightly to the person who refuses to be broken. This is the silent war we fight every day, not to be seen, not to be praised. But because we know something most never learn, the man who masters himself masters his fate. We don't rise to our dreams, we fall to our training. That's why discipline doesn't happen in battle, it's built in the lonely hours. It's built when no one is cheering, when no one is watching, and still, you choose to show up. When you push through mental fog, when you choose discipline over distraction. When you act without feeling ready, you're not just ticking a task off a list. You're shaping something sacred, your soul. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. And each time you obey that truth, even on quiet, uneventful days, you're laying another stone in the fortress of your will. You don't act because you feel powerful. You act to become powerful. In comfort, it's the seductive enemy whispering that you deserve a break, that you've done enough. But remember, the easy road never built a name worth remembering. So rise anyway. Move anyway. Become the fire that doesn't wait for permission to burn. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult, that truth is a mirror." It forces us to confront the stories we tell ourselves, the ones that make comfort seem like safety and effort feel like danger. But here's the reality. We weren't made to indulge. We were made to endure, to rise, to fight, and to push through the seductive pull of comfort that wants to lull us to sleep. Every time you choose discomfort over ease, every time you silence the voice of temptation and step forward regardless, you're sending a signal to life itself. Asterisk, I will not be ruled by impulse. I will rule over it. Asterisk. That's when discipline begins, not when you feel ready. But the exact moment you stop negotiating with weakness, don't wait to feel like it. Begin because it must be done. Begin out of duty. Because motivation, while beautiful, is fleeting. It's like the weather changing by the hour. Discipline, however, is forged in fire, the fire of showing up when you'd rather run, of choosing effort when your body and mind scream for escape. Marcus Aurelius captured it perfectly. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. You weren't put here to sleepwalk through existence. You were built to rise above emotional chaos and act with clarity, reason, and resolve. Those who move only when they feel like it are forever enslaved by their mood. But those who act from duty, they're the ones who reshape not just their schedule, but their destiny. Detach from comfort, it's not your friend. It's the soft blanket that suffocates growth. Discipline isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what makes you stronger, sharper, and more unshakable, even when your entire being begs for rest. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. And that's exactly how it looks to those who are addicted to ease. While the world numbs itself with distractions and noise, the Stoic sharpens himself. With challenge, while others chase comfort, we pursue clarity. True discipline is sacrifice not just of time and energy, but of ego, of laziness, of the craving to be comfortable. Only by surrendering the soft life can you step into the one you were truly meant to live. We don't stumble into our best selves by accident. We become who we are through the choices we make when no one's watching. Through the quiet moments of resistance, through the decisions to rise rather than retreat. Every step you take toward discomfort, every time you resist the urge to take the easy path, you move 1 inch closer to the person you were meant to be, not the one molded by comfort or convenience, but the one shaped by principle, persistence, and inner purpose. Becoming is not glamorous. It's not Instagram-worthy. It happens when you wake up and don't hit snooze. When you lace up your shoes despite your mind begging for rest. When you choose silence over distraction and clarity over chaos. Where the transformation occurs in the space between what's comfortable and what's necessary. You want peace? Earn it. You want power? Build it. You want to feel confident? Do the things that require courage. You don't get to skip the hard parts and still expect the reward. And here's the truth most won't tell you. There's no final destination. Discipline is a daily practice. It's a lifestyle, a way of being. You don't just do it, you become it. The Stoics knew this. They didn't chase the applause of the crowd. They didn't act to impress the masses. They acted with virtue, with reason, with purpose. And they built inner strength that no chaos could break. If any of this resonates with you, if something deep within you stirs when you hear these words, it's not random. It's your soul recognizing truth. It's the reminder that there's a version of you that's stronger, wiser, calmer, more focused, and it's waiting on the other side of your discipline. So take the next step. Subscribe not just to this channel, but to this way of life. Let Stoic wisdom guide your choices. Let discipline be your daily ritual. Let reason become your weapon. And slowly, with time and truth, you won't just act with discipline. You'll become it. Discipline is not just about waking up early or sticking to a schedule. It's a declaration, a quiet revolution of the soul. It's what happens when you decide with unwavering certainty that you will no longer be a slave to emotion, distraction, or the opinions of others. You've heard the voices of comfort, of hesitation, of fear, and now you choose to rise above them not once, but again and again. This path isn't for everyone. It's not easy, and it was never meant to be. You will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. Some will call you cold. Others may call you obsessive. Let them. The Stoic doesn't act for approval. He acts with purpose. He doesn't react, he responds. He doesn't shout, he endures. The world may not clap for your restraint, but it will eventually respect your results. You are not just doing hard things. You are becoming someone unshakable, someone grounded, someone who no longer needs to prove anything because their presence alone speaks volumes. And that power, it doesn't come from talent, luck, or natural charisma. It comes from the discipline you practice in the shadows. Remember, there will be days when you want to quit. There will be moments when the excuses feel stronger than the mission. But in those very moments, when everything in you begs to step back, that's when it matters most to move forward. not with rage, not with force, but with calm, steady conviction. That is the Stoic way. So if this speaks to you, if something deep inside you stirs with clarity, with resolve, then don't just absorb this message. Live it, carry it, let it shape how you act, think, and respond to the world. Subscribe not just to a channel, but to a code that says, I rise, not because I feel like it, but because I said I would. Welcome to the quiet strength of Stoicism, and welcome to becoming who you were always meant to be.